I didn't think I'd ever play Subnautica Randomiser again, but since a lot of you guys wanted me to replay it with the difficulty turned up, here we are. You may be wondering, how did you make the game more difficult? That's a great question. Recipes can now require up to 20 scanned fragments to unlock instead of the 5 we had before. Tools and equipment may now be ingredients for crafting recipes. I don't think I need to explain why this is annoying. Auto-discover all eggs has been disabled, meaning that, for example, if something required a spadefish egg to craft, I have to first find a spadefish egg, hatch it, then I can use future spadefish eggs in recipes. Force vanilla upgrade chains has been turned on, so now instead of instantly being able to craft the ultra high capacity tank, I have to first make a normal tank, then I have to upgrade it twice, just like how you do when you play vanilla Subnautica. These two sliders have been moved all the way to the right, so now recipes can require whole inventories worth of items. Also, I'm on hardcore mode.
Time to play the game!
We started the run by crossing our fingers and praying we didn't spawn a kilometer from the safe shell. God damn it, bro, what the hell is this? We check our surroundings and... what a very comforting sound to hear right underneath my life pod. We spawned relatively close to the mountain island, so we swam over there and we learned that this area is home to battery charger fragments and laser cutter fragments. Good to know for later. The first thing I want to do is get the scanner to unlock all the blueprints we may need, with the intention of finding the sea glide as fast as possible, as well as the knife to allow us to get seeds for recipes if needed, and food, fins because they're cheap, the repair tool for the habitat builder, and the habitat builder so we don't need to swim all the way back to the mountains every time we want to use a fabricator. Even with all the difficulty sliders turned up, the randomizer mod does try to make early game equipment cheaper, which is very kind. Thank you, Raxas? Even with this balancing in mind, why does this need so much lead? Also, since we're on hardcore, we aren't allowed to die to reset our food and water stats, so can we maybe pick up the pace please and get some gear before we starve? On the way to the nearby kelp forest, we have a look at our available blueprint. Oh, what the f*** is that? Also, we need 13 sea glide fragments to unlock the recipe. Oh no! So we spend the next little while filling up the old inventory with a bunch of fish, gas pods, and random floor junk. Then, with a full inventory, I watch videos on my phone for 5 minutes while holding W. Thrilling stuff, I must say. Since we're completely and utterly screwed, my best option from here is to repair the life pod. That way, the life pod's environmental scans can reassure me that I'm completely and utterly screwed. We scanned a couple of fragments around the mountain, but since we need so many fragments, we didn't unlock any recipes. No surprise there. And so began the wreck looting phase. Looking for the sea glide, sea moth, mobile vehicle bay, or anything else that will help us get through this challenge. Now, let me tell you, doing this without any oxygen tank or movement or anything is really slow. We head inside the wreck, I need to breathe. Head inside, I need to breathe. Head inside, I need to breathe. Oh my god, is that a sea glide fragment already? No. You didn't think it would be that easy, did you? We came across a thermal vent, which is great because it houses a bunch of sandstone inside. So with a few blubberfish in my inventory for oxygen, we swim deeper into the geyser. Never mind, I do not trust myself to swim through those stingers. I did mention this is hardcore, right? We filled up our inventory full of regress shell seeds and headed back home to craft. What even is a regress shell? We made the habitat builder, air bladder, and a flashlight, which doesn't make the biome fog here any less scary, but it will help me before we get the sea glide, which unfortunately I think is gonna take a big, long, stinky while. Continuing the wreck looting phase, we explored some nearby wrecks in the grassy plateaus, which were pretty easy to find since by this point I know this game's map like the back of my hand. By the way, I think that's such a stupid saying because who actually knows what the back of their hand looks like to that much detail? Swim down, I need to breathe. Swim down, I need to breathe. Swim down, I need to breathe. We found a data box for the reinforced dive suit, which is great. Let's have a look at its recipe. Why does this need so much lead as well? We also discovered a cool new perk of the randomizer mod, which is floating what? Okay, it's time to make a base, because I'm getting quite tired of swimming to the mountains every 10 minutes. So we got together an interesting list of ingredients for a solar panel so that we can build a base in a more convenient location. My next goal was to finally make an oxygen tank. Now you may be wondering why I waited so long to make one. Well, if you direct your pupils to the top right corner of the screen, you will notice that to craft the oxygen tank, we need an oculus fish, which are found in the jellyshroom caves.
But how are you going to go into the jellyshroom caves with no oxygen and no sea glaze?
Shh, don't worry. I have the stupidest plan of all time, but it might just work. This is a propulsion cannon. You can use it to grab items from far away. Then you can either pick it up, release it, or go that way. Die. And this is a brain coral. It will periodically shoot out 3 bubbles that float upwards and give you 10 seconds of oxygen if they hit you. If you combine them together, you get infinite oxygen. Well, actually, no, technically you're limited by the battery life of your propulsion cannon, so a very large but finite amount of oxygen. I thought that this technique would be overpowered, but oh no, we can't just waddle our way into the cave with propeller hat overalls and comically large lollipop style, because for whatever reason, after waiting for it to fall to the sea floor, the brain coral decided to pull a really funny prank on us called, I now have a spherical hitbox and I'm not going to stop rolling all over the floor, making it nearly impossible for you to catch the bubbles flying everywhere. I was starting to panic. How could I stop this thing from rolling everywhere? We were at legit 0 oxygen and it was still rolling. Then, with a whole inventory of alien feces in my pants, I managed to bring the brain coral over to the foundation and stop it from spinning. But with no rebreather, our oxygen runs out really quickly, so we kind of had to retreat back to the brain coral every like 10 seconds. We unlocked the multi-purpose room, the large room, the observatory, and the moon pool, and we scanned some other useless stuff. And we also got, you know, the whole reason I came down here. Thankfully, getting out of the cave was infinitely easier than getting in, since once we were high enough, we could just use the air bladder to get back to the surface. Then we head back to our beautiful base, made the oxygen tank, and oh, what's that? I need to go back down there to get more oculus fish to upgrade it. Thank you, Unknown Worlds Entertainment. Very cool. We did a bit more exploring, unlocking some new blueprints and trying to collect a bunch of lead for the reinforced dive suit. And then we got so incredibly lucky because we found a time capsule with loot so powerful it made the rest of the game way too easy. Oh nice, the alien containment. That's actually a really good find because as I briefly mentioned in the intro, we actually need to hatch the creature eggs we find if we want to use them as crafting ingredients. We head back to our base. Did I really build my base just inside the radiation zone? With that medium inconvenience out of the way, we made the reinforced dive suit. One thing I severely underestimated about this challenge was the amount of battery power I was consuming. So we spent a few minutes grinding the resources to make enough spare batteries to last us a while. After that, we decided to head to the floating island for the brand new blueprints that will spawn there. We eat an entire tree because yeah, normal people are able to do that apparently. Then we went over to the abandoned bases for the fragments, praying for a sea glide, but oops, all power transmitters. Since that area didn't help us at all, we decided to make a radiation suit and go to the crash zone. But the suit required a propulsion cannon to craft. Instead of sacrificing my only propulsion cannon, I decided to make a new one. So we had to stop by this reefback on the way home and harvest the most annoying plant in the game. With the radiation suit made, we headed to the crash zone and we found the one, the only laser cutter. Honestly, no complaints there. We do need the laser cutter for a few things later. And due to the fact that this biome is freaking massive, we actually found all 20 parts for the laser cutter. Why does this need so much lead as well? I want to explore the Aurora, but without a laser cutter or repair tool, there's no point just yet, so we'll need to come back a little bit later. Oh, what the hell? Look at this! What? Good question. Oh my god! That's actually so awesome. Nope, go that way. Die. It's back, what the hell? Oh my
god.
After a long session of searching for lead, we made a laser cutter, repair tool, and a few more air bladders for later. Now we're fully able to access the Aurora so we can scan the prawn suits, loot a bunch of food and water, and repair the drive core. Wow, thanks for the 2 Seamoth fragments, Aurora. Now I only need 15 more. Just after leaving the Aurora, we found another time capsule, and this time we got the water filtration suit. Back home, I made a radio in preparation for the Altera HQ message to get the code for the captain's quarters. On my previous randomizer video, someone commented that I can deconstruct and reconstruct the radio to refresh the messages, making it so we can spam them all at once instead of having to wait. And what do you know, they were actually right. I was haunted by the voices of the dead Aurora crew members for the next 5 minutes. At this point, we had explored a bunch of wrecks, but we only had 0 Sea Glide fragments, which is literally less than the amount of stars there are in the solar system. Surely the next couple of wrecks will give us the fragments we need? Please? Well, Wreck 1 had a Cyclops decoy tube upgrade and 9 beacons. No biggie, it's the first wreck, let's just move on. Wreck 2 gave us our 18th power transmitter, 12 prawn suit arms, the Cyclops docking bay repair module, but only 4 mobile vehicle bays. Okay, a little bit annoying, but at least we're halfway done with the vehicle bay. At LifePod 13, we find swim charge fins, which are actually really good and I do end up making them. But Wreck 3 had more bioreactors, more propulsion cannons, more stasis rifles. I already have these unlocked, you dumb, stupid wreck. Wreck 4 had more bioreactors, more propulsion cannons. Like what is happening? Take a guess as to what Wreck 5 had. More propulsion cannons and useless Cyclops upgrades. I'm starting to not like this very much. Wreck 6 in the Grand Reef was actually too deep to comfortably explore, but after dipping my toe in the wreck, we saw stasis rifle after laser cutter after grav trap after power transmitter. Wreck 7 in the Sea Treader's Path had an empty cargo box. What? Then finally, after checking what was inside the wreck, we found the prawn suit. So, not exactly what we were looking for, but at least it's something useful.
Do you need 2 of these, though? How ridiculous. What the f is that?
To take a break from miserably beating our heads against a wall, we decided to upgrade and decorate our base. Check out my awesome poster. On the way over to the bulb zone, I was thinking of easier ways to explore the wreck super deep down, because with my current oxygen setup, I can only explore these wrecks for like 5 seconds before I need to air bladder up to the surface. Maybe I could build a powered base outside the wrecks? Now that would require too much effort, and besides, solar panels stop working once you get too deep. Maybe I could build a floating air pump and a pipe network? Wait, that's actually a really good idea. What do you need to craft those again? Guess we're stuck with doing this the old-fashioned way then. Using our propulsion cannon to grab LifePod 12's data box from far away, we unlocked the recipe for the vehicle upgrade console, which is really useful. Thank you, LifePod 12. At this point, I had gone to pretty much every single wreck that I could access with my current oxygen setup, so my only option left was to make the high-capacity tank and the rebreather, and even more air bladders, so that maybe I could access the deeper wrecks like the mountains, blood kelp, and Grand Reef. So, to make them, we need blood oil and deep shrooms, which means we need to head over here. Okay, you can't see shit in this biome at nighttime. So let's grab some deep shrooms from this cave. Wait, okay, forget everything I just said.
Let's go. Oh my god. How long did that take? I need to know.
7 hours! One of my favorite parts of Subnautica is when you've just done a deep dive in the dead of night, whether you're hunting for resources or looting wrecks, but as you're coming home, the sun starts rising. It genuinely just makes me so happy. And finally, after 7 hours, it's time to make the Sea Glide. Now, the sky's the limit. Because we still aren't able to go in the sky. Get it? Please unsubscribe now. And now, we can start preparing to actually progress the game. So, As per usual, we need to grind for the prawn suit. To make the prawn suit, we need the prawn suit jump jet upgrade. But to make the jump jet upgrade, we need a rebreather recipe, we need a high capacity oxygen tank, we need to hatch a stalker so we can identify and make an alien containment. We also need a thermal scanner and speed upgrade, which means we need to make a scanner for the upgrade console. We need a selfie which requires a battery. Unfortunately, you're only able to pin a maximum of 6 recipes at once, so I spent the next 20 minutes making an entire crafting tree from scratch. Is this reminding you of anything?
Picking up orbital transponder signature of vessel signature lost.
After legit a whole afternoon of grinding, we finally made the prawn suit, which, after a minute of thinking, I decided to give it a name that reflected my feelings towards it. You took too long, you took way too long to make, oh my god. With the hardest part out of the way, we then made the prawn suit depth module Mark 1, and another rebreather because we had to use our old one to make the prawn suit. Using tools and equipment as crafting ingredients for more tools and equipment is such a tedious process that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. So, we headed over to the bulb bush zone, unlocked the nuclear reactor for the reactor rod recipe, scanned some prawn suit drill arm fragments, but most importantly, we needed a bulb bush sample to upgrade our fins to the swim charge fins. Now, we don't ever need to make new batteries ever again. Next up, we need to make a prawn suit torpedo arm to make the prawn suit's depth module Mark 2, which somehow, after all of that wreck hopping we did earlier, we only had one of the fragments scanned. We headed over to the blood kelp zone to 1. Get a blood oil for the grappling arm, and 2. Hopefully unlock the torpedo arm from the wreck in— Wait, what the fuck? I'm not sure how, but the torpedo arms spawned specifically in this part of the Sea Trudder's path. How did I not see them when I was here earlier for the Sea Glide? Anyway, we found the torpedo arm, so maybe I should just move on and be happy about it. Ah, crap, the torpedo arm needs a sea crown seed. Guess we just have to go into the Sea Emperor's not so fast full. If you remember 2 months ago in my previous randomizer video, I explained how there's sea crown seeds growing in the Grassy Plateau's cave. So we, went there and stuff. Boom grappling arm, boom torpedo arm, we fill up our entire inventory with regress shell seeds, and boom prawn suit depth module Mark 2. Now, You Took Too Long is ready for the depths. Check out my movement, bro. I'm actually a ninja with the grapple arm. Before going to the lava zone and curing the planet and all that, we had to make a quick pit stop at the mountain island to stock up on purple tablets and ion cubes. I've played these games before. I'm not backtracking all the way up to the surface any more than we have to. So we head to the bulb bush zone, go down this cave, say hi to Casper the friendly ghost leviathan. You've all seen this part of the game many times before, I'm sure. We grab whatever exclusive materials we find along the way, just in case we need them to craft something later. And since we have the reinforced dive suit, the lava zone literally doesn't even damage me. Turns out that when you over prepare, it actually makes a huge difference. We grab the blue tablet and Sorry, I'm really scared of women. This facility has a portal which takes us to the Mountain Island base, so we head through and gather all the weird shit needed for the blue tablet. Then we head back through the portal, then we head down into the active lava zone. We're really just doing the compulsory Subnautica storyline shenanigans. We make it into the front door of the prison, and I thought some BS was about to happen when this sea dragon started charging me like the FBI trying to smash my door down, but he just wanted to make sure I was safe before heading off to do his own thing. We finally face our fear of women and unlock the hatching enzymes recipe, which thankfully was quite easy. We just needed to head through and grab an eye stalk and bulb bush sample. And we also say hello to our life pod friend who we abandoned like 15 hours ago. Anyway, we make the stuff and swim down to the place and pour acid on the eggs to break them open or something. I don't know how this works. Anyway, check out this cool glitch that you can do. Now, I just have one question. Why the hell haven't we gotten the Altera HQ radio message yet? I literally made the radio like ages ago, and I've clicked on every single message. You unlock the radio message 5 days after visiting the quarantine enforcement platform or entering the disease research facility. I did not know that. What? You really do learn something new every day. Wait, what? I knew that sitting in a chair stopped your food and water from going down, but I didn't know that it stops your oxygen as well. What? And there we go. We can now begin the final step of this challenge. To build the launch platform, we need a stasis rifle? Quite intriguing, I must say. Okay, what do you need for a stasis rifle again? We then headed over to the Aurora to build the rocket platform because... funny? I actually don't know why I came over here. Okay, what do we need to craft the gantry? Wait! I got a water filtration suit from a time capsule earlier, meaning we just need the Pathfinder tool. So we gathered the resources for the Pathfinder tool. Oh, sick, another time capsule. Wait. Wow, you would have been helpful to find 5 minutes earlier. Okay, that wasn't too bad. We already had the water filtration suit, so that was kind of just good. Okay, well now you're just trolling me. Before I went back home, this sand shark lightly tickled my prawn suit. It's okay, mistakes like this happen. In situations like this, you should never overreact. So I kept calm, accepted his apology, and moved on. At this point, I'm really happy. I'm thinking I might be able to finish the rocket really quickly. Oh my god, how many creepvine samples? It's hard to believe that building the rocket was really easy. That's because it wasn't. Oh my god, bro. I was really hoping I could get through this without making a Cyclops. It was done. Only one thing left remained, saying goodbye to this beautiful ocean planet and ascending the elevator, contemplating if playing this mod for 20 hours was a good use of my time, and finally stepping foot inside. So, this is how I die? Bringing my prawn suit up the elevator of the rocket for shits and giggles, and having the game throw me off the side of the bridge as if I was about to try a water bucket MLG? No, I survived the fall, but I think I might have heart problems now because I was jump scared harder than Markiplier after saying night one's never that bad.